Well, how could a parent forget their child in a car? That is the question we get most often when a child dies in a hot car. Just last week, remember this? 7-month-old Isabel Ledo Herrera from Tucson died after being forgotten in a car for up to 8 hours. 9 News 5's Christina Myers met with one parent who went through this same tragedy, and she explains how easily it could actually happen. Christina.
Stella, that same question, how could you forget your kid in the car, is what often vilifies parents who are already going through the worst time of their life. One mother I spoke to shares her story of how easily it can happen, but also how she turned her tragedy into a second chance for other parents.
May 25th, 2011, Christy and Brett Cavallero lost their daughter Sophia, better known as Ray Ray.
Our entire family had overslept that morning, and then chaos completely ensued in my household.
In a rush to work, Brett was supposed to drop Ray Ray off, but accidentally continued on his normal route to the office.
The only thing that we can surmise is that in his mind, once he was on that trek to his office, he had assumed that she was already dropped off. He didn't even think about it. I never imagined it in a million years before, but when it happened and I saw exactly how it happened, I was like, wow, I could have done that too.
Christy says if you've ever forgotten your coffee maker on at home during a chaotic morning, then you can understand how easy it is to leave a child in your car, especially under the right conditions like stress, lack of sleep, or a change in routine.
In fact, more than 600 kids have died since 1998 when laws were put in place requiring children to be put in the back seat. The most common reason? Kids forgotten because of a change in schedule or caretaker, just like this case in Tucson last week. Still, parents are often made into the villains in these cases.
We were painted as just the most horrific monsters. And I think that most parents are painted as monsters when this happens because as a human being, it makes you feel better if you can tell yourself only a monster would do this. It is the worst pain and the worst grief and the most horrific thing that any person could ever live through.
Wanting to make sure no other parents have to go through the same thing, the Cavalleros started Ray Ray's Pledge. It's an agreement between parents and daycare providers to call if the child is not dropped off by a certain time.
Ray Ray's Pledge is completely free and all of the materials are available online. We have a link to all of the downloadable forms at KGUN-9.com. As a parent, you can suggest a center-wide policy at your daycare or get Ray Ray's Pledge forms for yourself and make an individual agreement with your daycare provider. Christina Myers, KGUN 9 on your side.